Welcome back. Closing Rikers, ending solitary confinement, advocating and spearheading mental health initiatives, as well as pushing for legislative change to our criminal justice system. Well, these are just some of the many challenges our next guest has taken on since the tragic passing of his brother, Kalief Browder. Joining us now is Akeem Browder, who's president of the Kalief Browder Foundation and criminal justice advocate. And thank you for joining us here, Akeem. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you, and welcome. So talk to me a little bit about where things are today. Obviously, a lot of concern. I think we can start off with this here because here in the Bronx, we've got a lot of questions about whether or not another jail should be added, and your thoughts given the fact of all that happened with your brother.
I would just start off. I am not an advocate of new jails, and I don't think just knowing the research and the analytics behind it, I don't think anyone understanding that would agree that new jails would be a way to go. One, it's financially expensive for the people. It doesn't actually go according to what our historical data shows, that we've even had new jails in our city back in the 70s, and it didn't actually equate to better society. We have to look at therapeutic solutions for our communities so that we can understand when the community gets involved with those that are mentally ill, we have to know how to deal with this. Mm-hmm. We have to have solutions for people that have special needs that could be ascertained through the community and not through just locking your way up out of the community.
And when you talk about mental illness, obviously there's a lot that needs to be dealt with, especially when it comes to the criminal justice system. Talk to me about some of those mental health initiatives that you like to see happen, given the fact of what's happening now.
Yeah, I would just even use my brother's situation. Kalief was a kid locked up for allegedly stealing a backpack, put into a place, Rikers Island, that we all know that in New York, that literally just tortured him, held him because, as an innocent person, our laws really didn't protect what happened. It was, in essence, a death sentence for allegedly stealing a backpack. What we really should have been doing is understanding that people that are not a threat to society, people that have petty crimes that don't really, that aren't a threat to our community or our safety standards, we really shouldn't be locking up. People that have, that hop the turnstile, why are we locking them up? People that are sleeping on park benches or open canisters, these aren't threatening things to society. But if we understood that consistent behavior of these petty crimes are not something also to be locked up, then what do we do as solutions? Solutions really look like in our community where you allocate funds to community-based organizations that are doing this work in our neighborhoods. This is and was not reflective with Kalief, and it definitely isn't reflective here moving forward.
Are you satisfied with the conversations and the things that have happened, particularly bail? Talking about the whole issue of bail, talking about getting rid of Rikers Island.
So we've been working as locally and legislatively to try and change laws in New York. The bail situation, if we're looking just at bail, then we're going to say, you know what, I'm going to have to say the bail bill that's passed for this session didn't come close to what we wanted. But if you're looking at on just a minute level of bail, but there's also speedy trial, and then there's also discovery practices. So we got a comprehensive criminal justice package passed this year that makes New York actually more progressive than any other state in the U.S.
Take me back for a second to the bail issue. What was it that you did not get that you wanted to see happen?
So it wouldn't have changed the standard for Kalief being arrested. People in poor and black and brown communities that's disenfranchised typically are arrested on high charges, Trump charges, that then they offer lower charges so that that person could say, oh, I don't want to take the 14 or 7 year and I can get a lesser plea bargain, so they'll do that. What we need is actual charges. So Kalief, he was arrested on robbery and a third. That's a violent accusation. The bail bill doesn't cover for non-violent alleged felonies when given as a violent charge. So Kalief would have never even fell into that bill, this bail bill. Now, accurately charging our youth or young adults or adults for the charges that they're assessed with, that would have been something different. But until that person takes that plea bargain, they are still considered, like Kalief, would have been a robbery and a third, in essence.
Civic engagement is big, right? We want people to be civically engaged in what's going on. But there seems to be a little bit of an apathy. I don't want to say a little bit, a lot of an apathy
Yeah.
when it comes to civic engagement. Why do you think it is? Is it because there's no faith in the system, or do you think that people just really don't want to be actively involved?
No, you know what? I just speaking in the Bronx, we need a victory, and in order to get it, and what I mean by a victory is when we actually use our votes and or vote for someone that we want in office. If we don't get what we want, and the establishment continuously gets their victories, then the people lose hope. I think New York has lost hope in our voting structure, or at least lost hope in those that we want to put in office, like Jamal Bailey in the Bronx. He's a great senator. We need more people like him, AOC, who we helped put in office. We got victories, or small victories that lead to big results. This is what we're looking for. Even with even Queens, Tiffany Cabàn, we just got that win. But we need more wins for people to start wanting to come out and be civically engaged. And then also education. It's not just one area of, that we have to do more help with. Educating our youth, understanding that your votes do matter, is something that we need to. And how does it matter? How do you? And not only voting for mayoral or gubernatorial, but also for city council members and DAs. Right now, we just had a DA that Darcel Clark get back in office, and she had no one running against her. We didn't. There was no voting, and there was no real vote that was necessary. She could have won with one vote, but we don't have hope for putting someone in office if we're not educated about the process as well.
So let me ask you this question: that when you talk about, particularly the Bronx DA, were you satisfied? Are you satisfied with how she's been operating?
I can't curse, right? No, I'm absolutely not. I mean, she's consistently. Well, one, she was the judge on my brother's case. That right there just tells me I'm not going to be in favor of her. She purposely saw Kalief over 30 times in court and did not actively step up and say, what's going on here? But Kalief is not the only case that happens like that. The Bronx is really being downtrodden by the criminal justice system. And judges like her, when she was in office, continuously allow for our people to sit in jail and linger while they're fighting for their case to be heard, also fighting for their life while in places like Rikers. She really shouldn't be in office, in my opinion. Darcel Clark has never actually served her community in a way that says equity and justice will be preserved. It's always about getting a felony conviction and being tough on crime. And yet, this is what we have for the next 4 years. At least there's term limits now, though.
Talk to me about the foundation, Kalief Foundation. Obviously, you guys are doing some great work. His death actually struck a nation. And so talk to us about what has happened subsequently and where you guys are with the foundation.
Well, thanks for acknowledging. Kalief, when he came home, he tried to get his life back in order. He got his GED on the first try at Lehman College, and then actually went to BCC and continued his education. He went to school for business. He was going to school, so I didn't want to do anything that wouldn't recognize what he would have stood for, and he said he wanted to be an advocate, so the Kalief Browder Foundation is a living legacy to Kalief. We started as a mental health organization doing work in legislation, so we're pushing for bills that our community would really see justice in. But then also locally, we're in the schools teaching civic engagement. So we're actually teaching the process of who's your officials, how you can ask for their help or demand for their attention in your community, as well as on the mental health side. Since we are a mental health organization, we actually teach our youth and our young adults how to be social emotional awareness.
And so, as far as the public is concerned, participation. What's it been like for you as a family member since Kalief's death? I mean, do you still get embraced a lot in the public? We know for a while celebrities were even coming through and really talking to you and sharing. What's it been like for you since that time?
Actually, Kalief isn't the only loss that my family suffered, and this is for a lot of families. My mother passed because of what happened to Kalief. She died of a heart attack. That was a broken heart because of what happened to Kalief. And then my family continuously suffered because when you had introduced trauma and then lose your glue to your family, the mothers of our family need to be protected as well. But the public has become like family to us. They've given us the support that we needed. They've given us the attention. Kalief literally said, I just want people to hear my story. And people listened, not just in this nation, actually across the world. We've heard stories from Zhaozhou, China, from France, Italy, Australia. Everyone has come together and said, this is unjust and inhumane, especially because it happened to a kid. And that's where they're saying, when our vulnerable are impacted in a way that a death sentence in essence was given to Kalief for allegedly stealing a backpack, we need to change society.
Where do you go from here?
Well, I ran for mayor in 2017 as a Green Party candidate, and there was a hope sparked in that there was going to be something changed, and it was a really close race actually, but this time around, not as a Green Party candidate. I will be announcing this year that I'm going to be running for mayor again, but it's not just focused on legislation or being an elected official. I'm actually working in the community, in the schools. I work with a lot of people that's incarcerated, and I build these relationships in the mental health community. I'm really trying to make sure that we're giving the Bronx what we need, not just conversation, but real action.
All right. Well, Akeem, we thank you so much for coming and sharing with us, and our best to you, and keep up the great work that you're doing. And certainly we'll continue to follow up on you, and I know we're going to have you on a couple other platforms as well.
Thanks a lot.
Akeem Browder.
Thank
All right, now to keep up with Akeem and show support, visit KaliefBrowderFoundation.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at Kalief Browder Way. Well, we're taking a quick break. We've got more open. Stay with us. We'll come right back right after this.